Hey, sorry for this late video. So basically today in reading we talked a lot about what makes a heart great, literally, and we've been reading our purple book a lot. It's this book here. If you don't have a copy of it at home, I took a screenshot, a picture of the page we're working on. If you have it, great. You can follow along with us. It is on page 9. And then if you brought home your blue Wit and Wisdom books, you can open to a page that looks like this right here on the screen, or you can use a class kick code, which is on Schoology. So what we're focusing on today is comparing or understanding how figurative language helps us better understand a text. So last week we worked on erythrocytes, which are red blood cells, and it compared the red blood cells to tubes without holes in the middle, right? And then we wrote a paragraph about it. Today we're going to focus on the two parts of a heart. So you're going to find 9B in Class Kick or in your blue Wit and Wisdom book, and you're going to write down the two parts of a heart right here for me. So I'm going to go pretty fast, but feel free to pause the video. I just have to go fast because I have to pick up the kids from specialists. So two parts of a heart. Two parts of a heart. That's what we're trying to figure out, what the author is comparing or using figurative language to help us understand that, right? So on page 9 of the purple book, this is what it looks like. It's called Stay on Your Own Side. So listen to me read and follow along. You'll notice that the heart has two sides, the right side and the left side. A thick wall called the septum separates the two sides. Each side has its own job to do. The left side receives blood from the lungs and pumps it to the whole body, while the right side receives blood from the body and pumps it to the lungs. You might think of a heart as a divided highway. I think that's the figurative language right there. You might think of a heart as a divided highway. A divider separates the lanes, and cars must stay in their own lane. If not, there's trouble. Okay, so what does the text compare the two parts of a heart to? Look at it. Pause the video if you need to. I noticed that the author compares the two parts of a heart to a divided highway. I'm actually going to write that sentence down. So in quotation marks, in your blue book, oopsies, you're going to write that down. You might think, what does it say? You might think of a heart as a divided highway. You might think of a heart as a divided highway. And I'm going to put it in quotation marks because that's directly from the text. So anytime it's directly from the text, you have to use quotation marks. So you're going to copy that down. And then I also noticed that it says a divider separates the lanes and car must stay in their own lane. If not, there's trouble. So to me, I think it's also saying that a highway is separated so that cars can go in opposite directions. So I think that's important. That's what the author's saying. So pause the video if you need to write this down. Move my face over there. All right. And then for the next, for the next part, it's, oh my word. It's asking, where did this come from? Well, it came from page 9. So I'm going to write page 9 because that's where it came from. All right, this is the important part, elaboration. How does this part right here help us understand? So how does the two parts of a heart being compared to a highway, a divided highway, help us have a better understanding of the heart? Or how is a highway being separated so that cars can go in opposite directions help us understand the two parts of heart? So this tells me that the heart has two parts that is divided by a septum to make sure blood flows, to make sure the two parts of our hearts flow in their own section. Right? So you might think of a heart as a divided highway. That means that it has the septum to divide it, and it's separated in opposite directions. So the septum is there to help us know that our heart's flowing different ways. So I'm going to give you a minute to write that. Pause the video if you need to. Okay. Once you're done with that, you're going to write that now into a paragraph here. So the first sentence should just introduce what's being described. So how can we say the two parts of heart here in a sentence? We can just say the human heart has two parts. Now we need to say, what does the author use to compare next? So the human heart has two parts. I'm going to say the author uses simile to help us better understand the two parts of the heart. What else did I write? And how it is like a highway. With two sides. So you're going to write this down. Notice that I gave the evidence. Now your job is to explain this part in your own words here. So I already wrote for you, the human heart has two parts. The author uses simile to help us better understand the two parts of the heart and how it is like a highway with two sides going opposite directions. This means that our heart is like a highway because, and you fill this in. Okay, once you're done with this, take a picture and turn it in, and that is your job for reading today. The class today, we only did this part for the first part. Our second part is going to be writing this. So if you watch this whole video, that was kind of like the quick of how the two lessons are combined. Your other part is to do math, page 151 and 152. And then you're good for the day. All right, message me on Schoology if you have questions. Bye.